Have you ever noticed how you can be totally fine 1 second, and then someone says one thing and you're ready to burn everything down? Or how you judge someone hard for something and later realize you do the exact same thing? Or how you keep sabotaging the good things in your life and you have no idea why? Here's what's actually happening. It's a part of you running the show that you've never consciously met. Carl Jung called it the shadow. And the moment you start integrating it, your entire life changes. Not because the darkness disappears, it's because you finally stop being controlled by it. This is the final episode of this 6-part series, and it's about the moment when shadow work stops being theory and becomes the thing that actually transforms your life. Let me show you the 5 signs it's working. Because if you've been doing this work, you're further along than you think. And the 5th sign. That's the one nobody talks about. What integration actually is. No BS version. Let's get something straight right now. Integration does not mean your shadow disappears. It doesn't mean you become some perfect, enlightened, never gets triggered version of yourself. It doesn't mean all your problems go away. Anyone selling you that? They're lying. Here's what integration actually means. Before integration, your shadow runs you from behind the scenes. It's the reason you react before you even know what's happening. It's why you see your own stuff in other people. It's why you keep doing things and then asking yourself, why did I just do that? Your shadow is the smart, capable part of you that's been working in the dark because nobody ever acknowledged it existed. After integration, that part comes into the light. Not eliminated, recognized. Given a voice you can actually hear. Think about it like this. You know those people who bottle everything up until they explode? That's the shadow working underground with no outlet. You know those people who judge everyone around them? That's the shadow being projected outward instead of acknowledged inward. Integration is what happens when you stop fighting what you are and start working with it. And here's the part most people miss. Jung didn't create integration as some therapy technique. He noticed it's what the human psyche is trying to do naturally, whether you participate consciously or not. The question isn't whether it's happening, it's whether you're going to meet it with your eyes open. Or let it happen through the destructive patterns you've been repeating your whole life. Shadow work is the choice to do it consciously. And when you make that choice, 5 specific things start to change. Let me show you what to look for. The 5 signs integration is happening. Sign number 1, the pause appears before integration. Something triggers you and you're already reacting. You're in the middle of the argument before you even register what happened. After integration starts working, you get a pause. Not every time, not at first, but more and more often. Something that used to send you into a spiral. And instead of the immediate reaction, there's a split second where you're aware. Where you are choosing the response instead of the response choosing you. That pause isn't a technique you force. It appears naturally as your conscious mind expands to include shadow territory. Here's how you know it's real. Someone says something that usually sets you off, and you feel the trigger. You feel it. But this time, you also feel yourself feeling it. There's a you watching the you that's triggered. It's integration. The longer the pause, the more integrated you are. But here's what's crazy. Most people experience this pause and don't even recognize it as progress. They think it should be more dramatic. They're waiting for some huge breakthrough moment. No, the pause is the breakthrough. It's the moment you stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. If you've experienced this even once in the last month, mark that. You're further along than you think. Sign number 2, other people stop being emergencies. You know that person who just gets to you? Hey. Like they could breathe wrong and you're furious? Here's what's actually happening. They are carrying something that you haven't acknowledged in yourself. Then your psyche is screaming at you through them. That's projection, and it's completely normal. But when integration starts working, the charge changes. That person still might annoy you. You might still notice the thing about them that bugs you, but it stops feeling like a personal attack. It stops feeling like an emergency. Because somewhere along the way, you found that quality in yourself. You admitted it. You looked at it. And the minute you did that, the projection system turned off. The things that trigger you are roadmaps to your shadow. Here's the test. Think about someone who used to absolutely set you off. Maybe a coworker, a family member, an ex. Now think about them. The reaction is quieter, not gone, but quieter. That's integration. You can see them as a complex human with their own shadow instead of as a villain in your story. That's integration. And honestly, this sign is one of the most useful ones. It's because it changes your relationships. It changes who you can be around. It gives you back energy you've been spending on other people's stuff. That energy, you get to use it on your actual life now. Sign number 3, you can hold opposites without your brain breaking. Maturity is being able to experience and instead of, or before shadow work. Most people think in black and white, good or bad, strong or weak, worthy or worthless. You need things in clean categories because holding complexity feels dangerous. Your persona, the mask you show the world, can't afford contradictions. But as integration happens, that rigidity softens. You start being able to hold two opposite truths at the same time without losing your mind. Like, I was really hurt by what they did and they were acting from their own pain. Or, I failed at this thing and failure doesn't define me. Or, I have a selfish side and that doesn't make me a bad person. The integrated self can hold, and where the unintegrated self requires or. And this is huge. Because this is what lets you be a real person in real relationships. You can be kind and have boundaries. You can be strong and need help. You can love someone and be angry at them. Most people spend their whole lives stuck in binary thinking, never realizing that the complexity they're avoiding, that's where the actual human experience lives. If you've noticed yourself getting comfortable with contradiction, with inconsistency, and the mess of being human, that's integration. And it's one of the clearest signs the work is real. Sign number 4, you stop being at war with yourself. The integrated self isn't always comfortable, but it's no longer at war. Before integration, there's a constant internal battle. Your inner critic never shuts up. Every mistake confirms what you already believe about yourself. Hard emotions get pushed down. You perform yourself for others constantly. You defend your image. You manage what people see. It's exhausting. As integration happens, that war ends. It's not because you suddenly love yourself unconditionally. That's just another way to reject your shadow. But because you arrive at something more honest, something steadier, a feeling of, I am here. All of me is here, including the parts I wouldn't have chosen. And I'm not at war with any of it. Self-acceptance isn't I love everything about me. It's I'm done pretending I'm someone else. Here's what this looks like in real life. You make a mistake and instead of the spiral of self-hatred, you just notice it. I did that. That's not great. What can I do differently? You feel a hard emotion, shame, anger, or jealousy, and instead of immediately pushing it away, you let it be there. Okay? This is uncomfortable, but it's mine. It's real. You stop needing constant external validation because you're not performing a character anymore. You're just being yourself. And weirdly, this is when other people start to actually trust you, because they can feel the difference between someone managing an image and someone who's just real. If you've noticed your relationship with yourself getting less hostile, even a little bit, that's integration working. Sign number 5, your compassion becomes unbreakable. This one changes everything. Real compassion only comes after you've met your own darkness. This is the sign nobody talks about. And it's the most profound one. Before integration, compassion is conditional. It's fragile. It works for people you like in situations that aren't too hard, until things get too messy. After integration, compassion changes at a fundamental level. Because once you've truly met your own darkness, once you've faced your own capacity to be selfish, cruel, jealous, weak, petty, something opens up. Not permission to do those things. Not excusing everything. Understanding. You see someone else's shadow and it's not foreign anymore. It's familiar. You recognize it. I know that struggle. I have that in me too. You can only understand in others what you've acknowledged in yourself. And here's where it gets really powerful. That compassion doesn't just extend to others. It extends to your past self, to the version of you who made all the mistakes you've been punishing yourself for, because now you understand you weren't evil, you were human, with a shadow that was running you because you didn't know how to meet it. This is the sign that tells you the work has gone deep. When you can look at someone else's worst moment and think, I have that capacity in me too. When you can extend compassion to the parts of yourself you used to hate, that's integration. And that's when you become someone who can actually hold other people's pain without needing to fix it or run from it. That's the gift Jung said shadow work gives you, not perfection, wholeness. And from wholeness comes the capacity to meet other people in theirs. All 5 signs illuminated a complete map. Count them. These aren't abstract, they're measurable. They're real. Sign number 1, the pause appears. The pause is where you get your power back. Sign number 2, other people stop being emergencies. When you own your darkness, other people's darkness stops controlling you. Sign number 3, you can hold opposites. Without your brain breaking, maturity is being able to experience and instead of, or. Sign number 4, you stop being at war with yourself. The integrated self isn't always comfortable, but it's no longer at war. Sign number 5, your compassion becomes unbreakable. This one changes everything. Real compassion only comes after you've met your own darkness. Count them. These aren't abstract. They're measurable. They're real. What doesn't change? The honest part. Integration doesn't fix your life. It changes your capacity to live it. Okay, real talk? Integration does not fix your life. It doesn't solve your difficult relationships. It doesn't remove the hard situations you're in. It doesn't change your past. It doesn't guarantee you'll never get hurt. It doesn't mean other people will heal just because you did. I'm telling you this because there's a massive gap between what integration actually does and what the self-help industry promises. And content creators who overpromise do real damage to people who do the work and then feel like they failed when the magic transformation doesn't happen. So let me be clear about what does change. Capacity. Your capacity to meet your experiences without them destroying you. Your capacity to make choices from really knowing yourself instead of from shadow pressures you can't see. Your capacity to be in relationships from a place of wholeness instead of from behind a mask. These aren't small things, but they're not magic either. Integration is not a cure. It's a capacity. Your shadow doesn't retire. New stuff will come up. Life keeps creating experiences that bring up new hidden content. The work doesn't end. It deepens. And here's the freedom in that. Once you stop waiting for the day when it's all resolved, when the shadow is finally tamed, when the persona can finally rest, you can actually start living in the life you have, with its unresolved tensions, its ongoing complications, its real needs. That's not a consolation prize. That is the prize. The integrated life isn't the finished life. It's the inhabited one. The goal was never a life without darkness. It was a life where darkness has a seat at the table. And that life, it's more honest, more real, and more worth living than any fantasy of perfection could ever be. How to carry this forward. This is your actual toolkit. You don't need a daily practice. You need an available one. So where do you go from here? Let me give you something you can actually use. 1. Keep your tools ready. The exercises from episode 4, like active imagination, shadow journaling, projection tracking, and the dialogue method. You don't need to do them every day forever. What you need is availability. When something hits you hard, when a reaction surprises you, when a dream won't leave you alone, when you see your stuff in someone else with unusual intensity, those are invitations. You now have the tools to respond. The practices don't need to be daily. They need to be ready. 2. Keep asking the key question. What does this reaction tell me about what's inside me? That question, asked with curiosity instead of judgment, is the practice. You don't need a journal to ask it. You just need the habit of turning toward your inner world instead of away when it gets loud. 3. Go back to the formal practices when things get hard. Life will have periods when shadow pressure gets stronger. Loss, change, new relationships, getting older. When those periods come, go back to the exercises. Not because you failed, because you're smart enough to know when you need better tools. The depth of your tools determines the terrain you can navigate. 4. Find your people. Shadow work done completely alone has a limit, because your shadow lives in relationships. It's in relationships that your patterns are most visible, your integration most tested. This might mean a therapist or a community. 1 or 2 relationships honest enough that your shadow can be seen without being hidden. Whatever form it takes, the relationship part isn't optional. Jung was clear. You can't fully individuate in isolation. The self that individuates alone is still, in the most important sense, alone. 5. Trust the spiral. Shadow work doesn't move in a straight line. You'll revisit the same patterns at deeper levels. That's not failure, that's depth. The second time you meet a pattern isn't proof the first time didn't work. It's proof you can now face it at a level you couldn't reach before. Trust the process even when the progress is invisible. The turning toward, the consistent willingness to encounter rather than avoid, that is the practice. And the practice is the point, the whole truth. Wholeness is not the absence of shadow. It's the presence of yourself, all of yourself. Jung wrote something late in his life that I think about constantly. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, not who you were shaped to be, not who the persona built, the person your early environment needed, the person who was always there underneath, waiting for you to recognize them. The shadow was never your enemy. It was the part of you waiting to come home. Throughout this series, we've gone deep into Carl Jung, into Viktor Frankl, into the Stoics, into the wisdom that says the examined life isn't easier, but it's more real. And reality, honest, full, unmanaged reality, is the only soil where a real life can grow. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It never was. It was the part of you that didn't get enough love early enough. It's the part that learned to stay hidden because that felt safer. It's the part that adapted brilliantly to impossible conditions. And it's been waiting faithfully, patiently, for you to create conditions where it could come home. You're creating those conditions now, by turning toward it, by asking the uncomfortable questions, by being willing to see what's been underground, by doing the work. The shadow doesn't need to be defeated. It needs to be welcomed. This isn't the end of your shadow work. This is you doing it with your eyes open. You have everything you need now. The understanding, the framework, the practices, the recognition of what's yours and what you've been carrying for others. Use them. Come back to them. Trust the spiral. And remember, on the days when it feels like too much, when the darkness seems bigger than progress, when you wonder if any of this is changing anything, the fact that you're asking the question means the work is alive in you. The fact that you're still turning toward it means you're already different than when you started. That's not nothing. That's everything. You are the work. The work is you, and the work continues. Thank you for being here for all of it. What comes next is yours too, right? But you're not writing it alone anymore. You're writing it whole. The Jungian Shadow Work series complete. The work just beginning.
Introducing Shadow Work. Workbook 1. Your first step from hiding to wholeness. This 57-page PDF uncovers hidden truths, identifies emotional triggers holding you back, and guides you through powerful journaling exercises. Learn to meet yourself with radical honesty and compassion. Shadow work transformed my life. I created this series to transform yours too. For a limited time, get 50% off instantly. No waiting. Just the beginning of something transformative. Click the link in the description now.